Hello, my name is Dr. Jerry Law, and I am the Director of Family Education and Leadership Training for Meadows Behavioral Healthcare. I'd like to thank you for taking a few moments to watch this very important video on something we call the talking boundary. While your loved one is in treatment, he or she will receive powerful education and training in skills that are designed to assist them in their recovery and wellness, as well as learning to live a successful life on an ongoing basis. One of the most important skills we wish to teach our patients is centered on the development of healthy communication patterns with those around them. Perhaps you've been frustrated in your past attempts to talk to your loved one about the issues with which you are all struggling and have not been able to find ways that accomplish healthy communication. Well, early on in treatment, your friend or family member will receive instruction on using talking and listening boundaries. In fact, you may have already had your loved one use this tool in conversations and found this strange or even foreign. Well, let's take some time to unpack this seemingly mysterious new way of communicating. The talking boundary is a significant component of the Meadows model, which is the foundation for treatment at our programs. This skill was developed by one of our senior fellows, Pia Melody, who has written many outstanding books that you will find useful. If you're able to participate in Family Week while your friend or family member is with us, you will receive detailed instruction and training on the use of this powerful tool. Here's a brief overview of the talking boundary that you may find helpful in the meantime. The talking boundary consists of three primary elements, followed by a request. The first component is a presentation of the facts. Sometimes we call this sensory data or observable behavior. Examples may include, when I saw, and you can fill in the blank, or when I heard you say. In other words, this is a presentation of data without an emotional flavor. For those of you who remember the old TV series Dragnet, you may recall the lead character Joe Friday, whose famous line was, "Just the facts, ma'am." Well, next comes thoughts. It is critical that the recipient of the conversation understands what we are thinking when we say what we say. It's necessary to speak from the I position, such as what I thought was, or what I made up about that was, or even what was triggered from my past is. Then comes the third component, an expression of emotions, as these feelings are generated from our thoughts. Based on Pia's model, we teach 8 basic emotions, and these are anger, fear, pain, joy, passion, love, shame, and guilt. Much more on these emotions will be presented at Family Week. So then, an expression of emotions may sound like, about that I feel, and then fill in the blank, or what I made myself feel about that is, or even the emotions I feel are, and again, fill in the blank. Finally, after sharing these 3 components with the listener, it may be helpful to make a request about change in the future, such as, I would prefer it if, or I would like to request next time that. Okay. Now, when individuals share something using the talking boundary, you, the recipient, will most likely have one of 3 reactions. Number 1, true. You may think or say, yes, I have the same perception about that, and I think and feel whatever. Or secondly, not true. I have a different perception. Would you like to hear what I think? Or perhaps it's questionable. I'm confused. Can you give me some more information regarding this? So, having said all of this, let's use a practical example. Suppose your loved one calls you and wishes to discuss their frustration with how a recent conversation with you played out. They may have been practicing the use of the talking boundary, and they state something like the following. When I heard you say that you're having a hard time believing me due to the lies I've told in the past, what I was thinking about that was the time my fourth grade teacher accused me of a lie in front of the whole class, and I just wanted to run out of the room. And about that, I felt anger and sadness. Here's another example. When I saw one of my peers having a great interaction with his family members during Family Week, what I made up about that was that could never happen when my family comes for a visit due to our history of conflict, and the emotions I feel are fear and pain. So the talking boundary is not a deflection from the matter at hand. Rather, it is a tool that assists both the speaker and the listening person connect and fully appreciate one another's perspective. As mentioned, your response may be that of true, not true, or questionable. How you respond will be critical in reaching an understanding of both the immediate issue and how you may communicate with one another in the future. When I was first introduced to this concept, frankly, I found it difficult to remember how to follow the sequence: facts, thoughts, feelings. Here's a little trick that I've come up with that you may find helpful. When you were a child, or perhaps even now, how did you eat an Oreo cookie? When I ask this question, I find that the majority of the people tell me, well, I separated the cookie and I ate the cream filling first. When I ask why, inevitably the answer is because that's the best part. So think of the talking boundary as an Oreo cookie. The top cookie represents the sensory data, or the part that says, when I heard. The bottom cookie symbolizes your feelings. About that, I feel. But the most important part is the cream filling. That's the part that tells the recipient of your communication what you're thinking. When we fail to share our thoughts, the other person is left trying to figure out, or just how to guess, what we're feeling based on the facts that were presented. Whether they know our thought processes or not, we must get that information across to them if we're going to truly communicate. So let me close with these additional comments on communication. Communication happens on multiple levels, but at least these 5. Level 1, I call it cliche conversation. How you doing? What's going on? What's up? You know, I have a neighbor who lives across the street from me, and he and I have both lived in these houses for over 20 years. But the extent of our communication with each other is a wave and a hello, and we're both perfectly fine with that. That's just the depth of that conversation. It's cliche conversation. Level 2 is the news reporter, reporting information, but really not offering any opinion. Once again, it's just the facts. Here's an example. Hey, let me tell you what Jerry did. Level 3 I call commentary. We offer our opinion on the facts, but not our feelings. See, at this level, communication begins to take on some risk. However, you can always retract your opinion if you think that the recipient disagrees. For example, hey, let me tell you what Jerry did, and here's what I think about that. Level 4, I call it the real deal. Here, an expression of feelings is critical. Genuine risk begins to happen at this level. For example, hey, let me tell you what Jerry did, and here's what I think about that. I'm really excited. Or, hey, let me tell you what Jerry did, and here's what I'm thinking about that. I'm so angry I could just scream. Next comes level 5, gut level communication. It's open and honest. At this level of communication, people speak the truth while conveying respect. Communication at this level has rules. It is planned, it is structured, it is intentional, and it is scheduled. For example, hey, let me tell you what Jerry did. Now here's what I think about that. I'm so angry, I don't even know what to do. And I really need to talk this over with you. Could we please schedule some one-on-one time to sit down, undistracted, and talk this out? I know Jerry's a close friend of yours, and the conversation could get heated. And I really don't want this issue to come between us. So let's make sure we both express our honest feelings, but respect one another too. I have my calendar. How about you? The nature of your relationship truly dictates the level of communication. If we're going to find resolution in our relationships, we're going to have to discover how to get to these deeper levels of communication. The use of the talking boundary can play a major role in assisting you in this process. Now, I realize this is but a brief look at the talking boundary, and I hope this video has been helpful to you in assisting you to better understand the new language your loved one may be using, as well as providing you a new tool for your own use when communicating with those around you.